or southern Iraq, dated 602 to 562 BC. The bottom shows plaster in the form of a colored glazed latered fayette used on special wall surfaces. Here it is inscribed in old cuneiform script from the reconstructed Ishtar Gate of Babylon in Berlin, 600 years BC. Beasts and bows. This composite creature of serpent, lion, and eagle, called Moshbushu, or magical beast, molded in relief in the brickworks of the Ishtar Gate, 600 years BC. The below is a lion from the processional way, Babylon, in enamel brick, 180 years BC. Bows reliefs from the Ishtar Gate. The bricks which make up the enamel reliefs on the Ishtar Gate were factory produced in molds. The unglazed reliefs of the gate's foundations came from the same molds. The brilliant enamel colors made by mixing metal oxide, feldspar, and ground silica, which were applied to the already fired bricks and melted into a glaze at a high temperature. The Lion of Babylon. This Lion of Babylon was found by Bedouins in 1776 AD. The basalt sculpture, almost 2 meters high, of a lion striding away over a lying man, remained unfinished. Its condition suggests the half-finished state in which sculptors were customarily transported from the quarry to their destination to be finished there. It's likely that the Persian conquest of Babylon in 539 BC interrupted the sculptor and his work. The lion below from the processional way. A composite beast of lion with eagle wings is also a Bible symbol for the Babylonian Empire. The New Babylonian Empire. The New Babylonian Empire was almost as large as Assyria had been at its peak. After the collapse of Assyria, the Medes were occupied in extending the empire northwestward. This left Babylon free to rule as much of the Fertile Crescent as it could conquer. Nebuchadnezzar took full advantage of the opportunity, and by the early 6th century, his domain reached from the Persian Gulf to the Mediterranean Sea. The splendor of Babylon. Babel, artist's conception of ancient Babylon with the hanging gardens in the foreground and the Tower of Nimrod in the background. Daniel chapter 7. Daniel dreams of 4 beasts. In the first year of Belshazzar, king of Babylon, Daniel had a dream, and visions passed through his mind. As he was lying on his bed, he wrote down the substance of his dream. Daniel said, "In my dream at night I looked, and there before me were 4 winds of heaven churning up the great sea. 4 great beasts, each different from the others, came out of the sea. The first was like a lion, and he had wings of an eagle. I watched until its wings were torn off, and was lifted from the ground, so that it stood on 2 feet like a man, and the heart of a man was given to it." And there before me was a second beast, which looked like a bear. He was raised up on one of his sides, and he had 3 ribs in his mouth between his teeth. He was told, "Get up and eat a fill of flesh." After that I looked, and there before me was another beast, one that looked like a leopard, and on his back he had 4 wings like those of a bird. This beast had 4 heads, and it was given authority to rule. After that, in my vision at night, I looked, and there before me was a 4th beast, terrifying and frightening, and very powerful. It had large iron teeth. It crushed and devoured its victims, and trampled underfoot whatever was left. It was different from all the former beasts, and it had 10 horns. And while I was thinking about the horns, there before me was another horn, a little one, which came out among them, and 3 of the first horns were uprooted before it. This horn had eyes like the eyes of a man, and a mouth that spoke boastfully. Then I continued to watch because of the boastful words the horn was speaking. I kept looking until the beast was slain, and its body destroyed and thrown into the blazing fire. The other beasts had been stripped of their authority, but were allowed to live for a period of time. I, Daniel, was troubled in spirit, and the vision that passed through my mind disturbed me. I approached one of those standing there and asked him the true meaning of all this. So he told me and gave me the interpretation of these things. The 4 great beasts are 4 kingdoms or empires that will arise from the earth. But the saints of the Most High will receive the kingdom and will possess it forever, yes, forever and ever. And today, from our time's perspective, looking back at history, we can say the eagle-winged lion is Nebuchadnezzar's Babylonian Empire. The second beast, the bear with 3 ribs, represents the Middle Persian Empire. The 3 ribs representing the 3 countries conquered by Media and Persia. They are Lydia, Babylon, and Egypt. And the leopard with 4 heads and 4 wings represents Alexander the Great GRECO-MACEDONIan Empire. It was divided into 4 divisions after his death. Then Daniel said, I wanted to know the true meaning of the 4th beast, which was different from all the others, and most terrifying. With its iron teeth and bronze claws, the beast that crushed and devoured its victims and trampled underfoot whatever was left. I also wanted to know about the 10 horns on its head, and about the other horn that came out, before which 3 of them fell, the horn that looked more imposing than the others, and had eyes and a mouth that spoke boastfully. And as I watched, this horn was waging war against the saints and defeating them, until the Ancient of Days came and pronounced judgment in favor of the saints of the Most High. And the time came when they possessed the kingdom. He gave me this interpretation. The 4th beast is a 4th empire that will appear on earth. It will be different from all the other empires and will devour the whole earth, trampling it down and crushing it. From our time in history, we can say that it's the Roman Empire. The 10 horns are 10 kings that will come from this empire. This is the European Union, a future European Union of 10 kings that will come from the Roman Empire. And after the 10 kings, another king will arise, different from the earlier ones. He will subdue 3 kings. This is the Antichrist that will emerge from Russia, and he will speak against the Most High and oppress his saints and try to change the set times and the laws. And the saints will be given over to him for a time, times, and half a time. But the court will sit, and his power will be taken away and completely destroyed forever. Then the sovereignty, power, and greatness of the kingdoms under the whole heaven will be handed over to the saints of the Most High. His kingdom will be an everlasting kingdom, and all rulers will worship and obey him. This is the end of the matter. Special report on Europe in Time magazine, December 28, 1992. Europe, getting back to the future. Construction of a new